definitely not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. A 26-year-old man was charged with indecent assault, indecent exposure, and open lewdness after he was caught masturbating in his workplace. The man was the manager of a Chipotle. Definitely not a Jew.
All right, Mike Glazer's here. Very funny stand-up special, Life Rules, available as we speak on YouTube and the podcast, Life Rules, the show as well. You can find that wherever you find finer podcasts. So we'll do some news, right, Max Panner?
Certainly. So Los Angeles just had one of the largest cash heists in its history. As much as $30 million taken.
Really?
From a San Fernando Valley money storage facility.
Money storage?
Yeah. So the burglars were able to breach the building as well as the safe where the money was stored. Supposedly they came in through the roof, but everyone's trying to figure out how they avoided the alarm system. Like, this team was good. Or
I've had many home alarms, and there's more. The owner gets busted more than the thieves.
Is that right? It's an inside job.
No, the inside job is you set the alarm, you go to bed, dog wakes up kid at 3 a.m, needs to take a piss, kid goes out, slides the patio slider open, and the alarm goes off. That's how it works most of the time.
Right. And also, they're saying that very few individuals, though, would have known that there were huge sums of cash being kept in that safe.
In the San Fernando Valley?
Yeah.
I wonder where. That's a
Sylmar.
Sylmar.
Wow. Yeah, so
Sylmar.
You would never guess.
No, I mean, like the average Mexican pushing a shopping cart with an umbrella past Sylmar. I mean, that's like a place you'd pass if you're on the 5 freeway or whatever, the 210. Sylmar, average income for the resident of Sylmar is $31,000 a year.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a poor ass neighborhood. So that's crazy. But I guess the deal is don't put it in a jewel encrusted building. Put it in a warehouse in Sylmar, because you would pass that warehouse 1,000 times and think they had plumbing supplies in it. There's some PVC and ABS pipe in there and maybe some couplers or something. You never know there's 30 million. Is it like loot, like drug loot? Like it must be, the 30 million must be confiscated drug something, LAPD, something. It can't just be a strategic reserve of 20s,
Also, 30 million, if it is 20s, how do you get that out? That's so heavy. Well, first off, there has to be an inside job.
Yeah, there's got to be one guy, like night. You told Lufthansa heist. He said something. All right.
Yeah.
I was reading about this as well. The two things that I love about it: one is they just covered the hole with a piece of plywood and got out of there, which I think is, when you're doing a high stakes heist of any kind, $30 million out the door, and then you're like, just throw some plywood on it and we're out of here.
So they put when did the plywood go up?
Well, so this is on Easter. They did this on Easter. So as they left, they just put plywood behind them and closed it off.
Oh, just so people wouldn't pass by and see a blown out.
Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, okay. I get it.
Well, I mean, that's your overhead, right? You just cheap piece of wood. We're already gone. We don't need to get something nice.
That's a great point. You just swing by the Home Depot on the way.
Yeah.
Maybe keep the receipt just so you can write it off.
It'd be ballsy to come back and try to get the plywood. So what they're saying is we blew a hole in the side of the cinder block to get out, right? Yeah. But if we left the hole blown open, then someone would drive by and call the cops.
Right. I mean, they found out, obviously, on Monday when they came back.
They did. Basically, what they did.
Oh, there it is.
It's kind of an interesting thing. It's like, you ever do that thing where it's like you got to leave your computer in your car and you go, well, I'm just going to put my sweat jacket over it. It's not really a way to deter crime, but it kind of helps. You know what I mean? Like,
makes me feel better.
Makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
So they blew this thing out. So I used to be in construction.
Okay.
This is what you call a tilt up. That's a solid concrete wall. So it's not a cinder block. You don't see them stacked. Tilt-ups. All the warehouses you see here are called tilt-ups. It's just formed, going up 2 stories, and then they pump concrete rebar into it. So it's a pretty hard thing to blow out. And it looks like it's chipped out or blown out, not like wet sawn diamond blade out.
How big of a team do you think you need for a heist like this?
Well, let's
Get
see.
the boys back together.
You keep count. You need a second story man. You need a wheel man.
Yep.
Okay.
Driver.
You need that's the wheel man.
Okay. Oh, sure. Behind the wheel. I'm not going to help anymore, please. I'm not good at heists. Yeah.
Yeah, and second story man, wheel man. You need a demolitions man. You need a knife thrower. You need a lookout man.
Hacker?
You need a hacker. Yeah, you need a hacker nerd. You need the super sexy chick too.
Yes.
I think it's about.
I got 7.
I got demo knife thrower, right?
The Silmar 7.
And
That
one
ain't
of them's
bad.
the ringleader, right? Or are we adding him too because he put the team together?
Dutch is the ring guy.
Yeah.
He's the leader.
Yeah.
So you need Dutch. I'd say 8 guys minimum.
The Silmar 8.
The Silmar 8.
All right.
Yeah, so they went in through the skylight or the hatch or whatever. They blew the safe. They took the money. I'm guessing it's police something, evidence something.
Yeah, that's not being reported.
Isn't there something from police where they can seize anything they want and then it's just theirs all of a sudden? And like they do that with drug busts all the time where they just go in and they're like, this is all ours now and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
and
that's
they
why
just keep
in
it.
Miami Vice they drove around a Ferrari.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That's not the police's. I mean, that's the drug smugglers.
Yeah.
Ferrari, right?
Exactly.
30 million. I don't know why. In a world where every time you turn on the news, some nut who's not supposed to be in this country pushed a pregnant woman onto the subway tracks or something. I like this kind of crime. It's got a theme.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. You're
harmless.
stealing money. You're not just punching chicks in the face when they're walking through Manhattan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what's in it for you crime. That's the scariest kind of crime.
Yeah, I'd say let him keep it.
Let them keep it.
Let him keep it.
Very nice.
All right. So, and by the way, the other heist that the largest cash heist in LA were usually like Dunbar armored facilities and Brinks trucks and things like that. So it's interesting that they were able to find this place here. So Oakland, we know that the Athletics, the Oakland A's, are going to Vegas. They've confirmed that, but their stadium, which is going to be on the Strip, isn't going to be ready till like 2028. So they have announced today, as we record this, that they are going to play in Sacramento till then.
Sacramento.
Yeah. And
Not even going to Oakland.
they're not even staying. Yeah, there's like, no, there's a minor league park in West Sacramento. We're going to play for a couple years. So we're going to go there. Sorry, Oakland fans.
Let's try to figure this out. For millions of years, well, maybe 80 years, they would play football and baseball in the same place, right? They played in Candlestick. I think
It was always weird seeing the baseball stadium on the football field.
Yeah. Yeah, and then every once in a while, the stars would align, and it'd be raining, and they'd be like, he's kicking the field goal off the pitcher's mound, and he's going to have to contend with that rubber, you know? And I was always like, this is the multi-million-dollar
What are we
business. You
doing
can't
here?
figure this one out. They're kicking it off the second base, you know? Like, but they just built the Oakland Raiders, who are not the Oakland, the Vegas Raiders, a brand new state-of-the-art field. Can they share for 5 years
yeah,
while they're getting built? I don't know.
You would think.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't even know if the Oakland A's are any good or not. So I'm not like, does it matter where they play? Are people gonna go watch them and support them the way that a Raiders fanatic would be a part of? Like, if the Oakland Raiders were playing in Sacramento, I feel like people are traveling to Sacramento.
People travel,
right,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the Oakland's, they were good. I mean, we all saw Moneyball. That was a fun
Right.
movie. But yeah, I don't think that they're just mad because they're losing their last sports franchise.
Yeah.
Like this.
Oh, Oakland.
They're done.
Yeah, I mean, Oakland, like, what I want to say to whoever the powers that be, or maybe it was London Breed, the one who dancing at Tony. I'm like, listen, you guys lost the Raiders, you lost the A's, you fucking lost In-N-Out Burger.
Wow.
What? hello, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's change direction, change course here. Like something is not working in this place, that you lost the Raiders and In-N-Out Burger and the A's. And it's all in the span of like 2.5 years. Like, well, hello, change of course, everybody.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yes.
Although
London breed,
in Oakland, there's a lot of, I think it's called biffing or something like that, where you just walk around and smash car windows and grab that sweater computer out of the back.
Oh, so that's a burgeoning industry.
Is
Yeah.
that what it's called? What happened to me?
Something. Oh, sorry to hear.
See if you, that happened
It
to
did
Chris.
happen to me, but-
Can you
Oh,
find
God.
London breed talking about just feeling the music,
groove?
the groove, feeling the groove?
When that music hits, I gotta.
Well, look, we don't have. I guess what it is, we don't have In-N-Out Burger, and we don't have the A's, and we don't have the Raiders, but we have Tony, and we swapped them all out for Tony, and we're sticking with our decision.
Great.
That's great.
Oh, I will say, I love Vegas. I love Vegas. So if there's if there's more sports in Vegas, the more excuse for me to go there and have a great time.
I agree.
Yeah.
So actress Angie Harmon, she's from Law and Order.
Yeah.
So she put out a post because she was hanging out with her family. She ordered some Instacart to be delivered. Right.
Oh yeah.
And she hears a gunshot outside in the front. Her family runs out there and they see her dog shot. And the dog dies.
Yeah.
With the Instacart driver going, "Hey, this dog attacked me. I had to shoot him." And kind of, according to her, he was kind of boasting about it, like, "Oh yeah, I shot your dog. I shot your dog." But she says no bite marks, nothing on him, like no clothes torn or anything like that. This dog's not known to attack. So they're investigating right now because her Ring camera had been charging inside for this particular delivery.
Aha.
So there's no footage of anything. So it's just everybody's word.
All right. Well, it's weird that the delivery guy's packing heat. Where was this? I gotta find out where it is, because concealed
Charlotte,
carry.
North Carolina.
All right, it's weird that he's packing heat. On the other hand, you probably shouldn't order food and then have your dog in the front yard.
Absolutely.
You got to keep him in the back. Everyone likes their dog, and their dogs are always cool with them, but sometimes they react differently with other people. This seems like an overreaction. On the other hand, he's probably not good enough to just shoot him in the paw.
Right.
That'd be tough. And a warning shot's probably not good for dogs.
Right.
You probably just kill a bird, and the dog keeps chewing on you.
Falls down on the dog.
Lands on the dog. So, seems like an overreaction. On the other hand, you got to take some responsibility. Like if you have a barky dog and it's running around the front yard and you ordered some Grubhub,
right?
And you got to kind of make sure they're in the back. Also, you know who she's married to?
I don't.
Clint Eastwood.
That's right. She's married to Jason Sehorn.
The football player.
Thank
Former
you.
football player.
Chris, when did you go gay?
Years ago.
Come on, Jason Sehorn. Jason Sehorn was the last white cornerback to play in the league, pretty much. Return punts, blah, blah, blah. Jason Sehorn and Angie Harmon are the two best-looking people to ever mate.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean, you take a look at 28-year-old Angie Harmon and 28-year-old Jason Sehorn, you're like, you guys must procreate.
America's Beckham and Posh Spice.
I
Far and
would,
away.
yeah, and I think I would argue maybe a notch above.
Wow. Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, it's tough to outdo Beckham and Posh, but I think they do.
They're a hotter couple.
I think they are. Sehorn's hot, but Angie is hotter than Posh. Mm-hmm. Especially back in the day, and I was happy to see that when they were doing this story on TMZ that the kids were nice looking, because there's nothing worse.
Look
right?
at him. Look at him.
Look at him. Look at him.
Come on. Run for president. I'd vote for both of you.
Right. Yeah, he looks like James Marsden or something. But also, he played cornerback in the NFL. So, you got to be world class in the athletic department to play corner in the NFL. And then she's her.
She's incredible.
So someone should just tell him to relax.
I know this is going backwards and maybe it goes nowhere, but I need to know, with this Instacart delivery driver, you have groceries in your hands. You're walking up a driveway. At what point are you not yelling out your dog? You're not doing anything. If I assume that you're ordering groceries for the week at least. That's 2 hands of groceries. That's a lot of bags in your hand. So you're putting them down. Do you have your gun in your hand already? Because all of this doesn't connect for me in a lot of ways. I feel like this guy wanted to shoot a dog. I gotta call it out.
You know, I like the concealed carry stuff. Statistically, crime goes down in those places, even though people hate the gun part of it, but it works. But I also have the theory that when you have a gun and it's on you, you're going to want to bring it out every once in a while. And this guy seemed like he was quick to do that. And you're right, Instacart probably had the groceries, maybe got out. Is there any... Would there be a situation where he couldn't get back into his car safely and, like, shut the door?
Great question.
And worst case scenario, you have a week of groceries to live off of. Like if the car stalls and the phone runs out of battery, a snowstorm hits.
Right, you're trapped in there.
You're all right.
Yeah.
And you know those
Set up
guy
camp
eat
here.
top shelf food.
Yeah.
They're so good looking.
I
It's
could barely
clean.
survive on that organic oat bread.
Oh, there
my.
is no Chef Boyardee canned bullshit. and Angie Harmon and fucking Jason Sehorn, that's all high-end grass-fed beef, all the best, right?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. It's like, you ever taste $20 jerky? Well, now you're going to find out. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah. And then not a bunch of powdered milk and, high C or anything. Just top of the line, clean living. Yeah, you could live healthy in that car.
100%.
For a while.
Man, oh man.
Yeah. We saw that.
Your Honor. Yeah, okay.
We have London Breed
Oh, great.
Let's go.
explaining what happened.
The fact is, there was something that was really monumental that occurred, and that is Tony, the original members.
All right, now hold on a second. Hold on.
Original members.
Hold on a second. What year was that? But you have to understand, she's telling everyone else to shelter in place.
Right.
Lock it down and keep your mask on. But we need to understand that Tony, the original members, have come back together once again.
The first 3.
This is what I've said a million times is this is how you would speak if you were an endangered species. Like if you didn't have any predators in the wild, you would talk this way. That's the thing. That's the black woman mare syndrome. You don't...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You can't come after me.
Right.
So I'll say whatever the fuck I want. Gavin Newsom has to apologize and make excuses. She's like, Tony.
And everyone's like, yeah.
Was in town.
I thought when you were explaining it, I was outraged. But now after hearing her
So we got to understand her explanation.
I get it now.
All right, let's hear it. Sorry.
And that is Tony, the original members who have not performed in public for, I believe, at least over 20 years.
Oof.
They are just really some of the most incredible artists in the history of this country and the Bay Area in particular. And the fact that that is getting lost here is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
So yes,
So
Great.
Even though
Back to the white woman.
What year is that from? And by the way, they still don't have the part where she felt the groove in her, Byron. But
what a compliment to Tony.
There's nothing better than a scroll on the news being like thousands trapped under bridge. And she's
Right.
like, guys, it's the reunion we've been thinking about.
you have to understand, there's probably the question, but the question is like, do you think it's okay for you to be out in this environment when everybody else has been asked to shelter in place? And her answer was Tony.
True. Although I will say, if I was in her shoes and I got to go see like a print of Kill Bill at the New Beverly on film, I'd be like, guys, it's Kill Bill. I kind of want to...
Tarantino.
Yeah, so I do have sympathy here. because I have my things that are important to me.
Right.
And
What?
She seems like a big
what
fan.
year?
Yeah.
What month and year is this, Byron? But go ahead, play this one. Sorry.
This is nitpicking. This is really unfortunate. And let me tell you, when the spirit moves you because you are watching history in the making, Bay Area royalty perform, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to turn around and look for where my mask is or look to see and make sure I'm picking up a drink. I'm just going to let the spirit move. This is nitpicking.
Oh.
This is
Do
really
you but you understand this can only come from you playing the race card your entire life because you speak like it's like when Zsa Zsa Gabor slapped the cop.
Oh, that's
it's
right.
like she's so used to being treated a certain way that the guy went license and registration. She's like, I do not have it, darling. And he's
how
like,
dare
I'm
you.
sorry, I need your license. She's like, I've never been. And she's like, she slapped him. Like, if you ever talked to people that grow up a certain way or wear a certain way or never haven't been told to fuck off or to get in line or whatever, and you tell them, they're like, what? They just speak. She's speaking like a child from who grew up in some stately manner.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Going, what do you mean you don't have a butler? Who makes your eggs? You know what I mean? They're like, we're poor.
yeah.
So it's a part-time butler? like they literally, she gets to cruise because if anyone gives her shit, then she'll play the race card. So they don't edit themselves.
Incredible.
Right. Meanwhile, I'm spraying my Pringles with disinfectant.
Right.
Right?
Well, not only that, she's the one who told you had to spray your Pringles with disinfectant.
Right.
That's the scary part. But she wants to check out Tony.
It's
She's not
still-
going to worry about her mask when the fucking spirit has moved.
The band started playing. You expect them to just turn around and put on a mask? No.
All right, so that's an example of what
That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
it's unfucking believable. What year was that? When was it from, Byron? But
Yeah, was that in the
also,
heart
we can
of...
probably now.
Wait, were you... I'm sorry to ask, but like, I didn't do much stand-up during the years. I tried to do some Zoom and whatever. I didn't know Tony was touring
I didn't know either.
during this time. Fascinating.
It's fascinating. Yeah, now if it's September 21 is when that was done. School's probably still closed, but Tony's in town and she wants to enjoy herself. I don't know, Byron, you might be able to find Gavin Newsom, because Gavin Newsom, he's heterosexual and he's a white dude and he's over 6 foot and he's got to walk shit back.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to do I like at a certain point when she got agitated that the person was asking her the question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I
he
love
didn't
it.
understand the gravity of the Tony situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't tee her up with like, well, how was the groove?
It's a band. It's a band. She didn't do like, I'm sorry, but when my son falls into a raging river, I don't have time to put a mask on. It wasn't that. It was I was out getting my fucking party on. And I don't have time for the mask
No.
when the groove hits you. But if you don't put your mask on at the San Francisco airport, I will definitely tackle your ass and arrest you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, I would choose French Laundry over Tony any day of the week, and I just want to go on record for that.
Me
Same.
too.
Yeah.
Same.
You have Newsom defending San Francisco cleanup. I don't think that's it. But it would be defending the French Laundry, I think is what you'd want there, Byron. All right, one more news story.
Sure.
He got busted at the French Laundry and had to kind of walk it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, when the prefix menu takes you away,
Right.
you've got you don't have time for the mask. When those oyster and pearls cone come to your table, there's no way.
On that block of rock salt.
Exactly.
Listen, everyone thinks everything's wrong with me all the time, but there is a very fucking... Did you see Fonnie Willis like up on the stand? Crazy black DA from Atlanta. No. She was up on the stand getting questioned. She's like, I'm not on trial. You're on trial. You get out of my face, bitch. Like she's yelling at the judge because she's so used to not being spoken to in this way that she probably torpedoed the case. But she was just up there going, fuck off.
Yeah, you're deflecting, but with idiotic reasoning.
But it's because they're not used to being questioned that way because they can call everything racism, and so they don't build up that sort of. First off, you have to have a contrite bullshit lying gene. You know what I mean? Where you just go, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah. You don't mean any of it. You'd go do it again. Oh, we have Newsom apologizing for the French Laundry. So let's see if he cites Tony, or if he just says something. He'll do an excuse with an apology. Yeah.
That a few weeks ago, I was asked to go to a friend's 50th birthday. My wife and I, a friend that I've known for almost 20 years.
Oh, that's different.
And a friend that had, put a lot of time and energy into his 50th birthday. It was in Napa, which was in the orange status, relatively loose compared to some other counties. It was to be an outdoor restaurant, and we started the program started at 4 o'clock. It was one of those early reservations. I got there a little bit late at 4:30, and as soon as I sat down at the larger table, I realized it was a little larger group than I had anticipated, and I made a bad mistake. Instead of
this is
sitting
it.
down,
The walking back.
I should have stood up.
Right.
And walked back, got in my car, and drove back.
All right. So here's what I'm saying.
to
Just
my
compare and
house.
contrast. Just compare and contrast heterosexual white dude who's the governor having to fucking walk it back versus fuck y'all, suck my Tony. That's what I'm talking about. That's a perfect example.
She would have been
of
like,
what
hey, Chef Keller had his tiramisu coming out. And I haven't seen this tiramisu in forever.
Jesus Christ.
I had an opportunity to go to a 3-star Michelin restaurant with friends. It's phenomenal. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
right.
that's
Like
what it
that's what
was.
we're saying.
But
Yeah.
I
Well,
think-
that's what he's thinking, but he will get crucified
Yeah.
if he doesn't
can't-
do it, and
you can't
she
do that.
won't.
Right.
That's the whole thing. So she gets to do whatever the fuck
It's like
she
the not
wants.
clapping at the Oscars.
That's
now. Can you bribe? Because it seems like you can bribe London Breed with Tony tickets, or they can control her to like get work with.
If I was working
athletics
in like the Oakland Underground and I wanted to get some business, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I needed a favor
That with
from
those permits.
some permits favor. Yeah, I could just get the Tony. Or I could kidnap one of the Tonys.
Wow.
And
There it
make a video with me holding a pistol under his chin, you know what I mean? And he's in an undisclosed warehouse and he's going to eat a bullet if I don't get my permit now. Like I need a liquor license, I need a nightclub permit, I need a dock permit.
Yeah.
Like I need all the fucking permits,
We
and
need
I
to
need
get-
them
we need
now.
all the Tonys.
Otherwise, one of the Tonys is going to eat a bullet.
There you go. I'll tell you, the groove of that gun barrel, different.
That would work.
That
Yeah,
would,
that's the last groove he's going to hear. Yeah.
Tony. I don't think that.
I don't think so. Yeah. She is also, I believe, Byron. You can do this one. You can find this one, which is awesome. She also is the one who, when some black guy hung up a bunch of rings at the park and he was using them on a tree, like for exercise, she decided there were nooses, and she decided that this is a hate crime and that we had to get the Department of Justice involved. And then the black guy who hung up the circles, the rings to exercise off of, said, I hung those up and everyone uses them for exercise. She announced it wasn't over and was still going to get the Department of Justice.
Yeah, that was a different mayor.
Gosh.
Oh, that was the,
Yeah,
which one was that
Libby
one?
Schaaf.
Oh, she's of Oakland.
Yeah,
No.
she was Oakland. She was mayor of Oakland as well.
She was, and then
Yeah.
London Breed
Right.
became. Oh, so she predated her. Couldn't have been by much.
No, she was right before London.
So it was another nut job who we put in charge of Oakland. Listen, here's what I want to say. Everyone thinks my whole life I'm old.
Oh.
I grew up, yeah.
Sorry, London is mayor of San Francisco. Libby
Oh,
Schaaf is mayor of
Oakland.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. It's all going to work. Here's my point. I grew up, and everyone just went, if we had more women in power, we'd be living in a utopia. I don't know. I haven't signed off on that. There's a lot of women in power in a lot of cities, and they're all fucking falling apart. So I'm not going to draw a straight line between that and this. That was always the thing. It was always like, if we just had more women in positions of power, boom. Maybe, but I'd say it's up to the individual.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do a blanket statement. San Francisco and Oakland don't seem to be working out.
Chicago too.
Chicago doesn't seem to be working or didn't seem to be working out as well. And there's many other cities. So let's not just assume. And also they do this thing all the time. They go, we need more women of color in positions of, it's like, how about more competent people? Mm-hmm. Can we do that? Oh yeah, we have her news clip. This is Libby Schaaf's news clip about the rings.
The Oakland Police Department has turned over the evidence to the FBI. We have to start with the assumption that these are hate crimes.
Oh, I love this.
We cannot
Yes.
take these actions
Yes.
lightly. These symbols are symbols of racial violence, and it's incumbent on all of us.
Right, you have to
have
assume
that
it's a hate
sensitivity
crime
to
before
have
we
that
Guilty
knowledge.
before it
until
is
proven
one.
innocent.
And that is why I've directed our staff to remove any such symbol of hatred, regardless of the intention of what put it there.
Intention doesn't matter.
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean? So a circle
Right.
isn't it a circle?
Oh, she's walking around yelling every time a circle shows up. She's freaking out.
So if you see an orb, like let's say you pass Union 76, a gas station, and you see that big orange orb, should that be removed regardless? By the way, when they go regardless of what, it's like, no, that's all hate crimes are. It's regarding the hate crime. It's not regardless. Otherwise, we couldn't have the Olympic rings. Could we? You wouldn't have a medal.
Oh, no.
It's in the wrong shape.
Yeah. Well,
But they're
and
all
also wouldn't be
rings.
allowed to hang around my neck.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Wait, we have the guy who hung it, which is this guy cracked me up.
Oh, please.
She doesn't care, by the way.
No.
Right, he likes to climb things. He climbed up that tree, put another rope here, put another swing there. The children are having a good time with it. Right, there's actually a family of father, mother, and little child, daughter. And he'll host her up in the garden.
All right, so somebody hung stuff in a park so people could play with it, but you've decided it's a hate crime, and now we're going to get the DOJ involved, and you've talked to the Oakland or the San Francisco police. Meanwhile, Chris gets his guitar and his briefcase stolen from a rental car, and it's like, you call the cops. Like, hey, we're busy.
Yeah.
We're down at the park, and we're investigating very suspicious hoops.
We're looking for circles.
We're
There's
looking for
basketball
circles.
ones. We got to watch out. Yeah.
We got to go after hula hoops, engagement rings.
yeah.
All formed. There's a band called Circle who sung, so I had a hit in the 60s. Anything where two ends come around and meet, we're on it.
Yeah.
Because it's all a hate crime.
Right.
But sorry to hear whatever happened with your robbery in broad daylight.
It doesn't
That
matter. We got to
sounds-
find those hoop guys.
There's a band called the Circle Jerks. Punk band from the 80s. We're looking into them pretty deeply because they got the word circle.
Perfect circle. That
Perfect
90s
circle.
Sure. Maynard, James Keenan, throw him in the clink. Absolutely.
Yes. All right. That's good. Announce it's a hate crime before you investigate black guys putting hoops up in the park.
For exercise.
And then by all means, cut them down so they can't exercise with them. And then talk about the historical injustices from parks and hoops. By the way, we voted these people in, everybody.
That's the thing, right?
You know what I say all the time to these people? She's not in charge of parks. She's in charge of the whole fucking city. She's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
Schools and cops and sanitation and the fire department. That brain that you just saw on display is in charge of the whole place. There's in charge of when the Golden Gate Bridge gets repainted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's in charge of all of it.
Yeah.
That head is
Have
in
you
charge of
seen-
all of it.
Have you seen Tony live?
That's true.
Well, if that's the case, then and she's only able to focus on one thing, and that's exercise in the park being illegal, then there's no, like, how are you going to, like, get school lunches for kids who can't afford them if you can't eat, like, I don't know. You're focusing.
It's all about the park.
It's all about those parks, man.
All right.
Beautiful days.
Let me give you a plug. Life Rules, very positive, very funny stamp special on YouTube. Mike Glazer. Thanks for swinging by. Fresno Tower Theater, I'll be there doing stand-up Friday at 8 o'clock. And then Bakersfield, the historic Fox Theater, be doing stand-up there on Saturday. I think Dawson's making that run with us. Chicago, Illinois, the Den Theater doing stand-up there. That'll be April 19th and 20th. Salt Lake City, Wise Guys, May 3rd and 4th. Just go to amcroll.com for all the live stuff. Mike, this was fun. Come back anytime you like.
This was a real pleasure. Thank you both so much. This has been great.
Thank you.
So until next time, Mike Glazer and Adam Carolla and Tony, and Chris Laxamana saying mahalo.